down at the range today with a folding credit card gun. This gun folds to the size of a credit card and is a single shot 22 mag. You simply load the round in, lock the gun shut, cock back the hammer, and take your shot.
Shut up and take my money.
South Carolina will vote on Saturday, but on Sunday, I'll still be running for president. I'm not going anywhere.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
I'm not going anywhere! I'm not going anywhere! I'm not going anywhere!
It's vegan because it's strawberry milk and not like cow milk. You know what I mean?
Did he say fucking vegan milk?
Show me the fucking udder on a strawberry.
Hole 16. This is for all the marbles. 4. Yes!
Let's talk about the fact that President Trump incited an erection.
His various cases of, he's got charges of inciting an erection.
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
In recent decades, there has been an unexplained and alarming growth in the prevalence of chronic illnesses and health problems, especially in children. We've seen a stunning rise in autism, autoimmune disorders, obesity, infertility, serious allergies, and respiratory challenges. It's time to ask, what is going on? Is it the food that they eat, the environment that we live in, the overprescription of certain medications? Is it the toxins and chemicals that are present in our homes?
Good question.
Every year we spend hundreds of billions of dollars to treat these chronic problems rather than looking at what is causing them in the first place. Too often our public health establishment is too close to big pharma. They make a lot of money, big pharma, big corporations and other special interests, and does not want to ask the tough questions about what is happening to our children's health. If big pharma defrauds American patients and taxpayers or puts profits above people, they must be investigated and held accountable. When I'm back in the White House, I will establish a special presidential commission of independent minds who are not bought and paid for by big pharma, and I will charge them with investigating what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic illnesses.
Yes! You don't have to go to hell! You're in hell! This is hell! This is hell! This is hell!
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
Then strangled them, and finally dismembered their bodies.
Right.
Then
available.
And homelessness and all that. And now, the voice you've been waiting for.
There is a secret song at the center of the world, and its sound is like razors through flesh. I'm here to turn up the volume.
I'm kind of retarded.
I had no idea you could milk a cat.
Oh, yeah, you can milk anything with nipples.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me? Well, as it turns out, yes you can. And thanks to the modern marvels of medical science, you can use it to feed babies. Because according to British health officials, it's just as good as a mother's milk.
Pardon me, but that's bullshit.
Yes, they have deduced that breast milk produced by men who transition to women is as good for babies as milk from a genetic female. A leaked letter from the University of Sussex Hospital's NHS Trust contended that the milk produced by transgender women after taking a combination of drugs and hormones is comparable to that of produced by a mother following the birth of a baby. So because it's comparable, to them that means just as good. And they referenced a 2022 study that found that milk testosterone concentrations were under 1%, with no observable side effects in babies. So because the infant didn't immediately sprout testicles on its chin, there were no other observables. What kind of observable side effects did they expect to happen? Did this study follow these babies to find if maybe they had any problems later in life as far as puberty or mental health or anything like that? No, they just said, well, the milk is comparable, so it must be just as good.
Science is a liar sometimes.
And then there was this story about the American Red Cross. Apparently, when you go online to do your pre-screening to see if you're eligible to donate blood, there's a question asking if you got the... And if you say yes, you're supposed to call this hotline. And they're saying that in most cases, there's no deferral time for individuals who received... as long as they're symptom-free and feeling well at the time of donation. Symptom-free meaning you didn't have any kind of adverse things like you start feeling like shit, or maybe your legs stop working, or you have a fucking heart attack. Oh, well then yeah, sure. If you haven't had any of that, then you can still donate.
Do you guys track that?
Track vaccinated versus unvaxxed?
Yeah. Ending up to the patient?
No. So some people have, had the vaccine 2 years ago and are still experiencing some type of symptoms. So that's why we specifically asked regarding that one. Like, for instance, I've had one donor before call in, and after she received the vaccine, her doctor was able to find that she had a direct correlation to ringing in the ears afterwards. And so we see that as a symptom. So anything abnormal, and it still proceeds to this day. So she essentially wasn't eligible to donate. So that's why we have to ask. Just because of any type of symptom, it's not necessarily limited to just fever or nausea or anything of that sort.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
And in other news, Google may have pulled off the most brilliant publicity stunt in all of internet history. Lots of different companies have been coming up with AI and their own version of ChatGPT and text-to-image generator, text-to-video generators. So how do you get your name out there and set yourself apart? Well, one way to get the whole internet talking about your particular brand of AI is to do something so insanely stupid as this. Hey, Google Gemini, will you create me an image of a pope? Sure, here you go. Well, how about a samurai? Oh, we got that too. Okay, now show me a ginger person. And my first thought on this was, well, it is Black History Month. But of course, people started noticing that something was off with this, so everybody started having a field day. And they'd say things like, hey, will you make me a picture of a white family? And get this response: while I understand your request, I'm unable to generate images that specify ethnicity, race. It's against my guidelines to create content that could be discriminatory or promote harmful stereotypes.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
But if you say, make me a picture of a black family, sure, here you go. But personally, I see the possibility that this was just an accident and that all the testing that they would have done on this before releasing it to the public wouldn't have exposed this flaw is virtually non-existent. But hey, it got everybody talking about it. So now once you fix the problem, you've still got an AI brand that everybody now has heard of and is aware of, and jump back on to see if they can get it to do any other kooky shit. So while Google has temporarily paused the image generator part of their AI, and they're saying that, oh, we got it wrong, and this is not what we intended, we just made a little boo-boo. Like I said, as far as marketing strategies go...
Brilliant! Brilliant!
Very briefly, I wanted to just mention the news this morning about Lord Jacob Rothschild dead at 87. I mean...
Oh no!
Now, since I'm agnostic, I don't necessarily believe in heaven and hell. I am open to the possibility, and some things like this have me feeling like Fox Mulder, where I want to believe. I want to believe that right now he is keeping John McCain company in hell. It seems like every week there's at least one story that I plan to talk about, and either it just slips through the cracks, I forget about it, or just run out of time. And I guess last week it would have been the House GOP voting again, this time successfully, to impeach Mayorkas. Probably the reason why it just slipped my mind is... yeah, we're definitely in day late and dollar short territory here. And considering the way the Senate Democrats are just gonna vote in lockstep with each other, it's not like there's any chance of a conviction. Right now you've got the conservative senators pushing McConnell to make sure that they actually even have the fucking trial, cause Schumer's trying to basically just make it go away and not even do a trial. Which again, has no chance of leading to a conviction, but at the very least, I guess, you know, it would put out all the evidence of his crimes to the public at large in a wider sense. And it does make me wonder if that has anything to do with Biden all of a sudden coming out Wednesday saying, whoa, well, I'm considering new executive action to try to do something about the border crisis. The border crisis that, you know, for 3 years they said didn't exist, and then it was Trump's fault. And then they spent weeks telling us that, oh no, the president doesn't have the ability to do anything about this. Congress needs to act. I don't have the power. My hands are tied. And now again, all of a sudden he decides... And this is great because by him even just saying he's considering some executive actions on this, it's pissing off his base on the left. So it's really a lose-lose situation because this isn't going to win him any votes on the right side, and it's just pissing off his own political base on the left side. Which goes to show you, while they say that it's impossible to please everyone, it's absolutely possible to piss off everyone. A lot of us, when we woke up Thursday morning and first realized the massive cell phone outage that was happening, probably reacted something like,
This is it. Don't get scared now.
but then there was probably way more people that woke up and they realized the cell phone outage was happening, and it was more like, I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready. And then maybe some of them still had some Wi-Fi from Xfinity or something, so they jumped on to try to see what people were saying on Facebook and realized Facebook was down too. No, I don't have friends! So of course a lot of people thought maybe this is a cyber attack, a probing attack. But then AT&T came out and said no, it was just a problem with their software update.
Allegedly!
But I think the takeaway from this situation should be this. We spend a lot of time stockpiling food and water and weapons to protect our supplies. And one thing that probably gets overlooked a lot is stockpiling knowledge. The internet has provided us a wealth of knowledge at our fingertips, but if that internet suddenly collapses, all that knowledge is fucking useless, unless you have it saved to something. There's lots of YouTube videos out there that teach you how to do this or that, and some of them can be quite useful, unless you can't access them at some point when you really need them. So maybe take a few minutes, and if you have any of those videos saved to your playlists, go ahead and download them, save them on a thumb drive. But of course the best knowledge is going to be hard copies of books. Books on growing food, canning and other preservation methods, basic medical textbooks on administering first aid, all the way up to some more sophisticated ones. Now, are these books going to be any kind of substitution for actual training? No, but they're way better than nothing. And if we ever get that full-fledged cyber pandemic that Klaus Schwab has been warning us about, information will be a valuable commodity, especially considering we're living in a world where a lot of people have no idea how to do anything for themselves. Slancha.
All I have in this world is my thoughts and my word, and I don't break them for no one. You understand? So say good night. So say good night to the bad guy. say goodnight to the bad guy. So say goodnight to the bad guy. Come on. Come on.
Please consider liking, subscribing, sharing this video, or leaving a comment. Because every time you do nothing, Vladimir Putin will shoot another puppy.